last episode, we began replacing the mansion roof here with grass. Now, as part of naturifying this mansion roof here, one of the things I'd like to do is not only plant down some default vanilla Minecraft trees, but I'd also like to sprinkle in some nice custom trees in the mix as well. Now, what are we going to be needing a lot of if we're going to go down the route of making custom trees? Wood and leaves. And what don't we have in this world currently? A dedicated wood and leaf farming area. Today, my friends, we're going to change that. And where we're going to be making this room is back here. In the recent world tour, I showcased this room and I showcased this little stone formation, but I never said what this room was going to be for. Today, my friends, we're going to be converting this room into a dedicated tree growing area, so we can grab ourselves a ton of wood and a ton of leaves. So welcome back, my friends, to the Let's Play. It is Python here, of course, and a massive thank you as always for all of your incredible support that you folks have been showing this series and the channel lately. I really do appreciate it. Now, before I get on with the things I'm going to be doing in today's episode, I wanted to give a shameless plug to my gaming channel called Python GB, link of which will be on screen right now. Only Terraria decided to randomly drop an update. Like, with absolutely no warning whatsoever. So in the early hours of this morning, I actually wound up releasing the first episode of a brand new Terraria Let's Play on that brand new update. There's a lot of new things to explore, and I'm very, very excited. So if you're interested in checking out the brand new Terraria series, there will, of course, be a link to the first episode on screen for you folks. So the first hurdle we need to try and overcome are these bits of glowstone here. I believe directly underneath here are the cactus farm rooms. So far as I can remember, there's a little bit of a gap between the top of the farm and the ceiling of those rooms, which means we might just be able to get away with dropping the ceiling down by a block. Yeah, that should be pretty easy, actually. Wow, look at all the dark oak planks we got in the last episode. And we haven't even replaced all of the roof with grass yet. We're going to wind up with a crazy amount of dark oak, aren't we? Thinking about it, we're going to be replacing this entire floor with grass blocks. So actually, we might need to drop the ceiling height of all the areas beneath this room by a block as well. That's definitely going to take some doing, but I think it'll be worth it. I really, really do. It's high time we had ourselves a proper dedicated wood and leaf farming area, my friends. Now, I know, I could just use a random area outside to go grow myself a whole bunch of trees and go about things that way. But when it comes to certain kinds of trees, the grass winds up getting replaced with other things, right? For example, 2x2 spruce trees, if you force grow them, they will replace grass with podzol. And that is no good. So my weird solution to that is to just not allow myself to have 2x2 spruce trees be able to grow. Actually, talking of restrictions, so we actually count how many blocks tall this room is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The cobblestone is 8, and those logs up there are 9. That's actually perfect because I did a little bit of experimenting with like minimum heights the room needs to be for all trees to be able to grow, and I think I discovered that 9 blocks tall was the perfect amount. Only the brand new dappled trees, they require 9 blocks of height in order to grow. So yeah, it might just wind up being the case we've got accidental perfection going on here. In which case, perfect. So then, let's down these upside down dark oak stairs by a block, and then we should be able to just place down a slightly lowered slab of birch, and then we should be fine. So that's that first section downed by a block, and okay, the only other thing we need to do here is to maybe lower the windows here by a block as well, just so it doesn't look so skewiff. So do a little bit of this, and this, and this, and then get rid of this right here. And yeah, that looks alright. Oh man, I must have accidentally destroyed some birch blocks on the cacti down below. I guess that's why we need ourselves a tree farm, because I need a bunch of birchwood so I can replace those blocks. Right, where's my gear chest? There it is. Inside one of these bundles should be a whole bunch of saplings. Yep, there we are. I need the birch ones in particular. Then I've got all the grass I need in my terrain shulker box, and now we can get some grass placed down. Then all I need to do is head downstairs to the hostile mob drop farm room and then grab some bones, make some bone meal, and then we'll be on our merry way. Thank you, little copper golem, for filling in the bones chest. Love to see it. And now we can do just a little bit of this. Plenty of wood, plenty of leaves. And for any of you guys wondering what these stone bits represent, these represent where an eventual raised walkway will be placed, so we can more easily shear these leaves and pick them up. Only for any of you folks who don't know, the amount of blocks you can reach is like 7 height. So if you include the height of your person, which is 2 blocks, you could then reach 5 blocks away in height. This bit of wood up here being 5 blocks away, and then the other 2 being 8 and 9 blocks away. So yeah, a raised walkway is definitely needed. Question, do I still have a fortune hoe, silky Houdini, and warp blaster? No, we actually don't have a fortune hoe. Yeah, I could have sworn at some point we had. Maybe it was one of the things I lost when I died a bit earlier in the series. Or maybe my memory is just complete poo and I never had a fortune hoe in the first place. That, of course, is entirely possible. Screw it. We'll just play with the cards we've been dealt. We're going to hope that we get at least 4 birch saplings back from this 2x2 tree formation. In the meantime, there we are. All of the birch planks we need. Let's get this plugged up, and then the rest of the grass on this side placed. 9 saplings back. Hey, not bad without Fortune 3. I must admit, I was originally thinking of having a 3x3 bunch of sections here, each of which will host a 2x2 area of saplings. But then I realized I don't think that's actually necessary. So maybe, actually, we keep this central pathway here, and then in the dead center here, we could maybe have ourselves a little bit of a storage area for all of the various logs and leaves, and of course, saplings you can get in this game. Alrighty, bit of a progress update. The other side of the floor has been lowered by a block, and now we're getting the remaining grass placed in, finally. And then once this is done, we'll probably work on the elevated walkway. Wow, this room actually looks really cool with the dark oak forest colored grass, in contrast with the colours of the carpets here. It looks so cool, though. Ah. Right. Yeah, okay. I wasn't intending on having this become a mob farm of any kind. Yeah, apparently I forgot to temporarily light this place up while I was, funnily enough, going to get some lighting sources. Yeah, you gotta be careful with that, Python, you big old goof. Alrighty, so this little grid I've placed down should help you to more easily understand how this farm is going to work. For any of you guys who don't know, trees will not grow if there are blocks above the saplings that are less than 2 blocks away. So this would be invalid, and even this would be invalid. So the only valid spaces would be in the center of each square. We can have ourselves a 2x2 formation of trees in each square, with the exception of these center ones where we can actually have 2x3. So when we actually count the amount of saplings we can plant per side, we've got 4 in here, 4 over there, that's 8, and then 6 in the center here, that's 14. So a grand total of 28 saplings can be planted and grown at any one time in here, which I think is actually a pretty respectable amount. So then, my friends, the next step is to figure out the raised walkway. And I think we're going to go for birch, simply because it's what we have in most plentiful amounts at the moment. Culmination of birch stairs, slabs, and perhaps some trapdoors as well, acting as sort of the railing. question. I was saying about how these saplings won't grow into trees if there are blocks within a certain amount of blocks of the sapling. Does that include trapdoors, do you think? Only my thinking was I was going to have some trapdoors acting as railings along the raised pathways here. With that said, though, I've already come across a little bit of a hurdle here in that, you know, we can't have two trapdoors occupying a one block space. Therefore, these corners are going to look a little bit strange. Okay, I don't really know. I think before we go too much further, I need to see about whether or not we can actually still grow saplings in these spaces. So let's do a 2x2 here, and we're going to go with birch. Okay. They actually do still grow. They just kind of interrupt where the leaves would have spawned, therefore reducing the amount of leaves we get. I don't know, man. I mean, do we really need railings up here? I mean, is that really necessary? I mean, I don't know. I feel like the only reason I do that is to essentially Python-proof the railings so I don't just keep walking off the edge like a complete doofus brain. Because, let's be honest, I am a doofus brain. That's the exact sort of thing I do, constantly. Oh, I don't know. I think that's something to figure out as time goes on. For now, though, as you can see, I'm going for birch trapdoor walkways for the most part. Only, I don't know, the stairs kind of stemming from the wall and then going into the trapdoor railings, it seems to work quite well, I think, anyway. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I do, however, need quite a lot more birch, though. Alrighty, my friends, after quite a lot of chopping and trapdoor making, we have the raised walkway sorted out. The big test is going to be whether or not we can still grow saplings. Only in these corners here, I came up with kind of a solution for the whole trapdoor railing issue we bumped into before. I just hope that this isn't going to get in the way of this sapling being able to grow. Oh, it doesn't. Hey, that's perfect. I'm actually so chuffed to bits. This still works. Nice. And then for the trapdoor walkways sort of towards the center here, I've actually decided against putting railings down. Only if I do that, it's going to restrict how many leaves can spawn from the trees by quite a noticeable amount. Although then again, we get a good amount of leaves down below, and then we've actually got, you know, several, maybe 4 layers of leaves above the walkways. So, I don't know. There's actually part of me that wants to try putting down these dark oak trapdoor railings all across the place and see how things go then. It's possible I might have just had a moment of genius. And we all know that's a very, very rare thing that happens in my videos, isn't it? So, my thinking is, check this out. When we open these trapdoors, they basically form a surface, right? Now, my idea is to be able to use these trapdoors to bridge our way over, essentially, to the areas where we're going to be picking up and shearing leaves. So, what if we were to change the positioning of these trapdoors whereby we can simply walk on them from the walkway? So, by default, they would be up like this, forming our railing, but then when it actually comes to shearing the leaves and picking them up, we can open these things, this will form a bridge over to the leaves, and then we can more easily collect the leaves, right? Oh, yeah, I like that idea a lot. And yeah, as you can see, I may or may not have placed these all incorrectly. So now my log chopper is going to get even more of a workout. It'll be worth it in the finish though, my friend. Alrighty, if I've done all of this correctly, I should now be able to get rid of all of the placeholder grass blocks, flip up the trapdoors so they become the railings that we want. And then that should be it for the raised walkways, aside from going ahead and putting some little decorative flowers, perhaps, on some of these little random grass blocks I've got here and there. And here we go. The Great Flippening. Now to pick some double tall flowers so we can decorate the tree farming room. Yep, some lilacs. That'll be a nice start. And then way over here, we appear to have ourselves some lovely rose bushes. I don't know about you folks, but I think that rose bushes are the best looking of the double tall flowers you can get in this game. I just love how vibrant and vivid they are color-wise. So up we go. Let's get these bad boys placed down. And then I think we'll do a little bit of a test run. Only, you know, we want to make sure this thing still works, right? So here we go. Not a bad looking room, huh? I mean, there's definitely still some stuff to be done. For example, I think a nice little nature railing kind of dealio going along here, kind of similar to the railing design we've got going on in the World of Color room. That could be a nice way to go. But yeah, before we go too crazy, let's just do a little bit of a test run here. We'll place down a 2x2. We'll try and grow it. And looks like we can. All right, let's do azalea next. Oh, yeah. Wow. That wound up being a bigger area than I thought. Shall we try and do some of the bigger trees? Maybe we do a 2x2 of cherry trees. Oh, no. Oh, no. No, 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 no. That's not good. Okay. What about the center section here? I got a real bad feeling about this. No. There's too much stuff in the way above, isn't there? I'm actually quite upset right now. Yeah, I should have tested this as I was going along, huh? Okay. All is not lost. All is not lost. I think I've just thought of something. I think I might have a way to bring these trapdoors in a block, therefore not blocking the way above. And that is to just place them upon these and then open it that way. We can still walk along the walkway perfectly fine, and we still have a railing, right? So, yeah. Let's give that a bit more of a go. So all the trapdoors are now out of the way. What will this mean for our ability to grow the cherry trees? Still can't do it. Still can't do it. I can only assume now it's these corner decoration bits. Yep, there we go. It works now. Ah, yeah, upsetting, to say the least. I won't lie. But well, you come across a challenge, you try your best to overcome it. In this case, yeah, we've overcome it, but we've made this thing look a lot worse. And now I've got a whole bunch of stuff I need to try and figure out in terms of the walkways now. We'll figure something out, my friends. We will. We'll get there. But yeah, let this serve as a lesson to you folks. If you're trying to make yourself any kind of farming area, make sure you test it as the build progresses. You don't want to have a case of what I've had here, in that you've kind of completed the build, you know, aesthetically, but it doesn't wind up working. Kind of a case of do what I say, not what I did. Right there, my friends. Wait, what the heck? Why are the cherry leaves on the outside? What on earth is happening here? Mate, is it just me, or are cherry trees really, really skew-with? They don't generate normally. But then again, that could be the case with all the other trees that don't just necessarily go straight up, rather similar to, you know, oak and birch and azalea and all that kind of stuff. So then, looks like I've got quite a lot of amending to do here, my friends. So I'm going to roll up my sleeves and I'm going to see what I can do here. Well, my friends, visually, it's definitely a bit of a downgrade, but functionally, we should be there. We now have a proper 6x6 interior space for the 2x2 sapling areas. On these 2x3 areas, though, I'm not entirely sure. Only these trapdoors here technically line this area of grass down here. So, for example, if I was to place down a sapling here and try to grow it, yeah, I didn't think so. maybe I need to put down some signs next to these 2x3 areas so we can detail which saplings will not grow in those areas. In these 6x6 areas, I'm pretty sure at this point that every single sapling should be able to grow. I mean, if we were to put down a cherry one here now, yeah. But hey, we shouldn't go getting too ahead of ourselves, not without testing all of the other different types of trees. So we've got a mangrove propagule here. And as you can see, that grows perfectly well. But what about all of the other slightly more misshapen looking trees? Let's do an acacia one here. Works perfectly fine. Love to see it. All right, what else have we got? Ooh, the poplar sapling. Yeah, that'll be a good one to try, right? The brand new sapling for this brand new drop. Do a little bit of this. Uh-oh. That's not good. That's not good at all. Oh. Huh? How come it grows here, but not over here? Or did I just not apply enough bone meal? Ah. Yeah. These cherry trees need fixing, in my opinion. This shouldn't be allowed to happen. This is just weird. I don't like that at all. Ugh. Yeah. Hello, man. The more I try to progress on with this thing, the more I feel like the game is working against me here. Oh, it's not a nice feeling. It really, really isn't. But anyways, we'll try our best to persevere. Oh, this one does grow. Bro, I swear before it wasn't growing. You did see that, right? It just flat out was not growing. And now it does. I mean, I'm not going to complain about it. It's grown, so I'm happy about it. But, like, what? Alright, how about some of these actual 2x2 trees? Let's start off with a dark oak tree. Yep, that one works perfectly fine. And then the other 2x2 only tree there is pale oak. So let's try a pale oak tree here. Yep, works perfectly fine. Do you know what? Actually, this looks pretty cool. I quite like this spread of trees. So then, storage and little railings. They're the last two pieces of the puzzle for this room. How about this for the walkway? And how about this for accidental perfection as well? One of every single kind of tree sapling in this game are in the flower pots. Except perhaps azalea. I've got the nether trees here, and I don't really know if they really belong, because we're not going to be able to grow the nether trees in here, are we? Here we go. Azalea and flowering azalea. Perfection. And then these little signs here, these are going to have the sorts of saplings that won't grow in these spaces written upon them. So far as I know, so far it's only the cherry trees that won't grow in here. Although, to be fair, they probably will grow in the center 2 blocks now. Just, you know, we won't be able to do a full-on 2x3. So then, my friends, just one more piece of the puzzle, and that is storage. We're going to need quite a lot of storage in here, aren't we? If we're going to have ourselves maybe a chest or a barrel or container for one of every kind of wood and leaves and saplings in this game, that's actually going to be a heck of a lot of storage, isn't it? Well, my friends, I used up almost every single log I had remaining in my episode 1 house to do this. But check it out. Instead of having a central storage pillar like I was originally going to have, I decided that instead I would like to still be able to just run straight through this hallway. And instead, we have storage at the sides here. And as a result, I think it looks pretty good. I really, really do. It still feels like a nice, airy room. It doesn't feel like it's too cluttered or claustrophobic or anything like that. It actually feels like it's a pretty decently organized room. And the best thing is we've got ourselves 12 storage containers in each section. So I'm thinking we've got ourselves a storage area for the leaves, a storage area for the wood, a storage area for the saplings, and then a storage area for... oh, I don't know. Maybe some of the other wood bits and bobs that we can get. I don't know, slabs and stairs and fences and stuff like that. You know, make this a proper one-stop shop for everything we might need wood and leaves-wise. So, ladies and gentlemen, there we are. We have ourselves a dedicated tree growing area. And I'm pretty good about it. I feel like we've done a pretty good job here. So, on that happy note, it is time to wrap up today's episode. Thank you very much for watching. I really do hope you folks have enjoyed today's episode. Drop a like if you have. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on my future content. For now though, if you want some more Minecraft content to watch from this world, check out the series playlist on screen. For now though, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.